All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekakwadash. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and double honors to the elders at Great Millstone. This lesson is entitled, The New American Dream is Slavery. Okay? So if you wanted to know what the Project 2025 and him making America great again was all about, he told you everything. Okay, he wanted to make America white again. Okay, all right, a new golden age, a renaissance period. Okay, that's the of mode of operation, means MO. Okay, and that is the MO of the Edomite. They are the rulers of the world today. All right. Okay. Let's go to Job 9 and 24. We always read this. And it reads, The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right. There were two boys that the Lord has selected for dominion in the earth. All right, and it was Jacob, it was Esau and Jacob. And right now Esau is in power. All right, and he is known as the wicked. All right, let's go to Malachi verses 1 and 1. And it says, the burden of the word of the Lord in capital letters is Yahweh, to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith the Lord, yet I love Jacob. So the Lord chose Jacob, and which is of the 12 tribes, which produced the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. And I hated Esau, his whole seed line. All right. The so-called white man, the French, the Spanish, the Dutch, the Denmark, all these tribes of the Edomites. Okay. He hates them all. Okay. All right. And they are currently ruling the entire planet. All right. In wickedness. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. That's the future of the Edomite. Okay. All right. He came out of the Caucasus Mountains. They dwelled in the caves of Georgia, Russia. They dwelled in the caves of Mount Seir. All right. All right. And the Lord raised them from the dust. All right. Gave them wisdom and brought them out of the dark ages to take down their twin brother Jacob. And now they've been ruling ever since. All right. Verses 4. Whereas Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. That's what's happening right now. They rebuilt again during the Renaissance period after the Dark Ages, all right, and established themselves in America and around the world and reestablished the Roman Empire all over again, okay? It says, whereas Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, all right? See, now they're crying, they're saying, oh, we're impoverished, okay? We're losing our benefits, okay? They're taking our benefits, all the brown people, right? That was the way he got elected, right? And they fell right into it, to his hand. The Edomites and all these other nations that are here fell into his hand and voted him in. But that's their mode of operation. They always want to rebuild, okay? They destroyed America, the economy, and now they want to start over, okay? Whereas Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness and the people against whom the Lord has indignation forever. All right, so they're at it again. That's what he ran on, okay? A golden age. All right. Just another rebirth, a renaissance. All right. That's what they're trying to establish through technology and AI. All right. And their whole plan has not changed. All right. Let's go to Psalms chapter 55. Okay. And 20. Okay. We'll go start at 19. Psalms 55 and 19. The Most High shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old. Selah. Why? Because they have no changes. These Edomites have no changes. They are the wicked. They do the same thing over and over again. Therefore, they fear not the Most High. That's why they're coming forth with this rebirth, this new world order. It's just a rebrand of what they've always done. All right. He has put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He has broken his covenant. Okay. He made covenants with the natives, the American Indians, and he broke all of them. Okay. The words of his mouth, this is what happened to you Babylonians, all right, you so-called Americans. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. All right. So now he's started over again, and he seeks to he's back to their old ways of colonization. All right. They came out with the 13th Amendment, which allowed them to enslave anyone that committed a crime. Okay. Now you don't have to commit a crime. All right. They're going to put anybody that they deem they don't like or goes against their policy in prison, because the new American dream is prison, is to put you in these prisons and make money off of you. Okay. All right. And what she's going to eloquently bring out in this video. We're in Jacob's trouble. All right. All right. Everyone in America is under the crosshairs of the devil, which is Esau, Edom. Okay.
And that ICE is kidnapping people. And I want to go over the real reason that ICE is kidnapping people. And it is not immigration. But I do want to warn you that this is incredibly dark. This is not my opinion. These are verifiable facts. But once you see this laid out, you will not be able to unsee it. And again, it is very dark. Like, I felt so physically ill once I tied these things together that I had to sit for a while before I could even film this. What MAGA is calling border security, it isn't about safety or crime at all. It's about keeping a permanent underclass of brown labor without any rights. Think that the people that are working for ICE and MAGA, they think that we're getting rid of the immigrants. But what's actually happening is so much darker than that. We are enslaving them and cycling them through a system designed to keep them voiceless, rightless, and disposable, while guaranteeing that America stays white indefinitely. Like usual, we have to go back before we end up at present day. Back in 2021, federal agents busted something called Operation Blooming Onion in Georgia. One of the largest human trafficking operations in U.S. history. Dozens of farm workers, mostly from Mexico and Central America, held at gunpoint, raped, forced to dig onions with their bare hands for 20 cents a bucket, locked in trailers and surrounded by electric fences. And this wasn't a one-time thing. This is a huge part of agribusiness, the treatment of these kinds of workers. And in case you're wondering, I ended up tying these things together because I couldn't understand. I could never figure out why the farmers voted for Trump. And then I found this. Back in 2024, there was something called the Farm Workers Protection Rule, which was a set of rules put in place by the Biden administration to protect these H-2A workers. It was meant to protect these workers from things like being locked in trailers, not fed properly, not paid properly, not access to proper health care, basically slavery. And of course, the moment that Trump came back into office, he rolled all of those protections back. and his administration quietly dismantled the farm worker protection rules. They also reversed the minimum wage formula, which meant that those workers were now going to be paid several dollars less per hour. I'm going to tie the ICE raids into it. Just stay with me. And that right there is why agribusiness farmers backed Trump. Because under Trump, immigration reform doesn't mean fewer workers. It means cheaper ones, disposable ones, a perfect captive labor force. Now on to the ICE raids. So here's how the system works now. ICE raids ramp up, mass detentions of undocumented workers, and the ones rounded up are being sent to for-profit detention centers, and by, of course, Core Civic and GEO Group, who also happen to be two of Trump's largest donors. And while locked inside for crimes not committed, are forced to cook, clean, and run the facilities that they are being held captive at. And most of them are working for less than $1 a day. No criminal conviction, no due process, just pure profit for Core Civic and GEO Group. Also happens to be a direct violation of the 13th Amendment, which only allows forced labor inside of prisons for people who have been convicted of crimes. Mind you that these people are being kidnapped, not given due process, and have not been convicted of anything. And they're being forced to work under the threat of indefinite detention or deportation. That is not immigration enforcement. That is human trafficking. So all these people that we see go into these detention centers and they go missing, funded by our tax dollars and laundered through the language of law and order. And eventually, after they're processed and deported, those workers are replaced by a whole new batch of H-2A workers, the program that Trump rolled back all the restrictions on, which has exploded to record high of 370,000 visas issued this year under the Trump administration. And these new workers, unlike immigrants who can leave if they feel that they're not being treated fairly, these new workers coming in on this H-2A program, they can't report abuse, their passports are seized, they live in filthy conditions and can be deported immediately if they were to speak out to anybody like the press. It's legal servitude. And thanks to Trump's rollback of wages and safety precautions, farmers are now incentivized to use more and more H-2A labor, which pretty much guarantees that these farmers will never have to hire or pay a laborer what they're worth ever again. So now when we're asking ourselves, why did these farmers back Trump? There's your answer. He didn't just promise them border security. He handed them state-sponsored slave labor with full and absolute legal cover. Guys, this is exactly what eugenics looks like in the 21st century. Not sterilization clinics or immigration quotas, it's economic control. A system that decides who gets to live freely and who gets to labor for life. To tie it all together, that means that people who are walking down the street get racially profiled for being brown, and they get kidnapped, then detained in a for-profit prison center, and the more people that they're able to grab, the bigger the government contract that Trump gives to his buddies' private prisons. Then, after keeping them, mind you, they're getting paid about $150 per day from the federal government, our tax dollars, for each person they detain. They're only paying the detainees $1 a day for forced labor, which is against the 13th Amendment because they haven't been convicted of anything. And then after a few weeks to a few months of that terrible treatment, they're deported only to be brought back in through the H-2A program so that they are basically held hostage by U.S. farmers. And let me not miss the forest for the trees here. People that are coming here as hostages to work in forced labor camps, they're not settling in America. They're not having families. They're not having babies, aka they're not increasing their population numbers inside of the United States. This isn't.
So did you hear that? Now you know what's going on. Okay? I had did a video a while back called The Prison Planet. He told us directly that's what he wanted to do. Okay? Anyone that he deemed that he does not like, he wants to ship up out of here and put them in these prisons. Remember the Argentina president that he met with in the beginning? Okay? Argentina president. He has this prison there, okay, for the M16 gangs and all that. He asked him, can you build 5 more prisons and he laughed about it. Okay? This is why. Okay? He's benefiting from and profiting from imprisoning uh, um, the people that are here, these the so-called Northern Kingdom of Israel. Okay, these Mexicans, Venezuelans. That's what his plan is. There's already I done a lesson on him showing you that they were sending. They told this island to accept 75 uh, non-criminals, immigrants, to their island, and he would pay them $7.5 million. You see? Okay? So this is what the Lord was talking about when he said it'd be a time like no other. Okay? Through the spirit of the prophets. Okay? Let me go ahead and read that real quick. Okay? We're going to enter into a time like no other, because anyone that goes against him can be sent to these places. Make no mistake about it. All right? Okay? We go to real quick to Matthew chapter 24 verses 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days shall be shortened, and the Lord is speeding up the earth, is spinning faster than ever. Okay, that has been proven by the scientists. You can look that up yourself. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. Okay, he's going to come after everybody. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Okay, they just proved it the other day. They just shot the so-called the white lady in her car. Okay, all right. So it's on. This is what this is all about. The more people they pick up and detain, they're getting paid for it. Okay, that's why they're so diligent. Okay, all right. Let's go to Jeremiah 30 and verse 5. For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. We're in Jacob's trouble, okay? That's what the time period of the Great Tribulation, Jacob's trouble. All of that is the same time period, okay? The Lord is talking about here. When you go to Daniel, we read these three scriptures all the time. Daniel 12, because they're the same. They're the same time period. Daniel 12 and 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. All right, the elect is going to be delivered out of this. All right, let's go to 2nd Esdras 16. All right, yes, I read that yesterday, but okay. 2nd Esdras 16 in verses we'll start at 70. 2nd Esdras 16 and 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods, and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Okay? So this is also a trial, okay? All right, for the elect as well. He's using Esau, Edom, the devil, to bring this forth. All right. All right. Let's go to let's check out this core civic group real quick. See, can I find that real quick? Core civic group. Let's read up about that. Core civic group. She has spoke about that. These are the ones that are funding all of these prisons. Okay, so let's read about it. It says Core Civic and GEO Group are the two largest U.S. private prison companies, managing government contracted jails, prisons, and immigration detention centers, earning significant revenue from these facilities, particularly from immigration and custom enforcement, ICE. Okay, you see that? That's what this is all about. It ain't about no immigration. It's about getting paid. These people want to get paid for putting people in these prisons. Okay, you have to understand that. All right, hold on a second. Seems like my phone's losing power here. Yeah, so that's what's happening. You have to understand the new American dream for these elites is to put you in prison, Jacob. Okay? Just as the Lord has told you that there will be a time of Jacob's trouble. They're coming after the brown people. Okay? They're coming after you. All right? You're the target. All right? They want to get free labor out of you. Okay? Okay? So that's what this is all about. Let's continue reading. They operate under per bed per day contracts, and both companies saw stock increases and anticipated major growth with increased immigration enforcement under the Trump administration, expanding bed capacity and reopening facilities. They see dollar signs. Okay? All right. Let's look at the images here. See? Core Civic Group. This is says here, share prices since November 16 up 25%, 12%. See, that's how he got elected. They paid a lot of money in too. They one of the most. They said he was the highest. They're the GEO Group and Core Civic is the highest contributors to the Trump administration campaign, I guess, right? So this is what this is the knowledge that we needed to hear. Okay, why is this happening? Why, why in the world, is he coming after the immigrants like this? But he told us directly. Okay, all right. They're putting them in prison. They're making them work. It's slave labor. That's what this is all about. Okay. All right. He just used slick words, smooth words to fool you, fool these Babylonians. All right. All right. Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Okay? All right? And go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. It tells you, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. All right? And when you go to 16, An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. All right. So a lot of the Northern Kingdom, these Hispanics, they thought that they were immune from being deported, and now they're getting deported by the droves. He's trying to get rid of all of them. Okay, right? And all of this is the judgment of the Heavenly Father on the left-hand side. Okay, all right. He's using the wicked angels to bring this forth. All right. All right. So let me read a few scriptures, see if I have any more here. But that's, when I heard this, when I heard her read this, that's what I've been thinking this whole time. This is what it's all about. Okay? It's about for-profit prisons. All right? They're making a prison planet in America. They're opening these prisons up everywhere. Okay? All right? These detention centers. And it's only going to get worse. Right now, he's going after the Northern Kingdom, the Venezuelans, Hispanics. Next, he's going to be going after so-called African American. All right? All right? All right? Psalms chapter 10, verse 1. And it reads, Why standest thou far off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Yeah, that's what they do. That's what Donald Trump just did. He puffed at all the nations, even his own allies. He said, hey, we got the greatest military on earth. Can nobody touch us? Not even close. Okay? As for all our enemies, he puffeth at them. He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places does he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. That's what's happening. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. Okay? All right. Biden let him in, and then they rounded him up. Okay? Verse 10. He crouches and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. Okay? Okay, by his smooth words. Okay? All right. He has said in his heart, the Most High is forgotten. He hideth his face. He will never see it. Okay? All right. In other words, he don't believe that the Most High is going to judge them. They think they're going to get away with everything, all that they are doing. All right. All right. Let's go to Job chapter 5 and verses 12. He disappoint the devices of the crafty, the Most High does, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprises. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. Okay, so the Lord is going to he's going to stop them from reaching their goals. Okay, All right. He's gonna frustrate the tokens. Okay. All right. And cause them to fail. All right. All right. Let's go to Psalms chapter 7, verses 9. And it reads, "O let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end, but establish the just. For the righteous, the Most High trieth the hearts and reins. My defense is of the Most High, which saveth the upright in heart. The Most High judges the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He has bent his bow and made it ready. He has also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors," and that is going to be the nuclear fire, Armageddon. "Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and has conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood. He made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. I will praise the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, according to his righteousness, and will sing praise to the name of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, the Most High." Okay, so we have to, this is going to be the most, right, a time like no other. Okay, total evil is coming upon the earth, and nothing but evil. All right, okay, and we have to definitely lean upon the Lord and call upon the Lord. All right, because he's our only hope. All right, our only hope. Okay. All right, Proverbs 18 and 10. "The name of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and is safe." So just understand that that's what this is all about. Okay, this is a racket, a money racket. They're picking people up in order to enslave them. That's what they're doing. All right, putting them in for-profit prisons. All right. So now you know. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rikakwadash,